everyone, this is Anne. Today is Sunday, the 26th of August 2018. This is my combined podcast that will be talking about my knitting, both personal and shop stuff from Woolly Wonka fibers, some spinning, some books, some cross stitch, all kinds of fun stuff. If you're a new viewer, welcome. Thank you for taking some time to check me out. If you are a returning viewer, as always, welcome back. I'm always so grateful to have folks with lots of thumbs ups and questions and interaction, and just really nice to know folks in cyberspace. Let's see. Not much really going on around here. We're having kind of a quiet weekend. Our pet sitter, who we adore, is going to be officially retiring, but she's keeping on a few of her clients to, I think, ease the transition for her. And so when she was talking to us about the fact that she was going to be really scaling back her hours so she and her husband could travel more, she did say that she would be willing to continue to house sit, dog sit our dog Lizzie. So one of the things that she asked that would make her life a little easier, so she's not running back and forth all the time to our house, was if Lizzie could come and stay at her place with her dog. And apparently the two of them have quite a good relationship. When our pet sitter comes over to sit with our dog, she winds up also bringing her dog. And so he's a golden retriever and she's a yellow lab, and they are about the same size. So, and they're within a year of each other. So same energy level, and love to chase the ball and go for walks and do all kinds of things. So Friday night, we thought we would give it a trial. So Lizzie went over to have a sleepover with her boyfriend. And apparently it went really well, but she's definitely wiped out today. She's sitting right over here. I think that they played nonstop for like 18 hours that they were together, and then they both passed out overnight, and then they played some more yesterday morning before Gail brought her back over to the house. So we're having kind of a quiet weekend here, and lots of crafty things, and just taking it easy. Let's see. In other news, I'm very excited because on the 13th of September, I will be going to an actual live concert, which I don't do very often. The last one I went to was actually with the same artist, which is, I won't say how many years ago, but in the 90s. It's been a while. But I was very excited because Robert Plant is touring this year and is actually coming to Santa Fe. And so a friend of mine and I are going to go see him in concert. It's not necessarily Led Zeppelin based stuff that he's doing. I doubt he's going to really do any of that, to be honest. I don't know, maybe they'll throw something in, but it's more of his new stuff. He has a new album out, and he's just one of my all-time favorite musicians, so really excited to get to go and do that. And huge thanks to my friend Christina for agreeing to go with me. I would have gone by myself, but you know, it's not the safest, smartest choice to like go to a concert by yourself and then have to go out to the parking lot and get in your empty car by yourself. And it's not in a bad neighborhood. It's at the Santa Fe Opera House, so it's not like some huge coliseum somewhere, but even so, just, you know, being smart. So really looking forward to that. I think it's going to be a fun evening, and you know, so then maybe in like another 20 years I'll go to another concert. No rush. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with some actual things. I can't even see my timestamp. There we go. Let's talk about knitting first. I am pleased to say that I have a new collaboration that's out with a designer named Cerulean Orchid. She is a crochet designer, or at least this piece is a crochet piece. It is the Sequoia hat, and I'm going to insert a picture right here. This hat is a great single skein project. It's straightforward enough. If you're just kind of getting your feet into crochet, I think it's doable. It uses one skein of my Nimue sock base from the Willy Wonka Fiber shop. It's shown here in the colorway Dusk, and there is a giveaway happening over in my Ravelry group, so I'm going to link to that so you guys can check it out. It's for a copy of the pattern, as well as for a skein of the yarn. You can pick the color. You don't have to do it in Dusk. I think Dusk is gorgeous, but maybe Dusty Purple's not your thing. It obviously is mine. So anyway, I will put a link to that thread over in my Ravelry group. So head on over and check that out if you think you might be interested in participating in that giveaway. It's a great, basic, let's kick off fall kind of winter, late fall, winter weather layering piece. So it'll give you time to get through it, actually make it if you decide that you want to do that. You can use the yarn for anything, but you do get a copy of the pattern as well as a skein of the yarn. Let's see. I am still working on some samples. I did get quite a bit done on the cabled sweater that I'm working on. That's my current kind of secret knitting, deadline knitting project. Got the back completely finished, and I cast on for the front this weekend. So it's a sweater that's done in pieces and then seamed. Don't have it to show you obviously because it's secret knitting, but that is coming up, and I'm really, really happy with how it looks. I think it's going to be a great wintry sweater, and it's going to be releasing in December, so perfect for that time of year. For whatever reason, I have been on kind of I don't know, I won't say like a spring cleaning kick, right, because it's August, but a tidy up, purge, organize, rearrange kick, I guess. So I sat down this weekend and I was going through a few different things that I've had languishing, I guess is the best way to put it, and trying to decide, if I haven't worked on something in a while, am I going to work on it? I don't know. The first of those things was my Rohan socks. You might remember those from a couple of podcast episodes ago. They're the red and white with a little bit of yellow Lord of the Rings themed socks that I was knitting. They were color work. And I came to the conclusion that because I was having to rejigger the pattern so much, from the original 11 stitches per inch down to my normal 7 stitches per inch for socks, I was really not enjoying having to deal with the math, because if I want to do that, I'm going to write my own pattern. And the yarn that came with the kit, which is something I've had in stash for eons, is a great yarn. It's from the Unique Sheep and it's called Verve. But I don't like it for color work. It doesn't have enough grippiness. It's a very smooth, tightly plied merino. And I just haven't been enjoying working with it. It's been a slog. And so I frogged those back and I put the yarn back in stash, and I will repurpose it for something else. It's, like I said, it's a very nice yarn, and I would like to work with it, but it is not a yarn that I want to knit that pattern with. So that is off the needles. The other thing that I have been going back and forth about is I found a whole bunch of squares for a Cozy Memories blanket. And I have tons of like minis and scraps and things like that, and I just can't decide if I want to restart that or not. So I don't know if any of you have worked that or any of those similar kind of scrappy sock blanket type things. Give me a reason, give me a motivating reason to go back and rework that. My friend Andy, who is my sister's knitter, she's on Instagram as well as, sorry, you need to go lie down, you're banging the table. She has a great Ravelry group, which I'll also link below. Let me make a note here. She posted pictures up on her Instagram account of hers, which got me thinking, maybe I wanted to do that. I'm having a really, really bad case of startitis right now, and I just, you know, I can't justify starting a whole bunch of personal projects when I've got a huge list of work knitting projects to do. So I'm kind of, you know, on the fence about what I want to do for some personal knitting, or I was, until I ran into a knit along that my friend Jennifer, who owns Blaine Fleece and Fiber, I'll link that below. She also has a Ravelry group. She's hosting a Tolkien along for the month of September to celebrate both Bilbo and Frodo Baggins' birthdays. And she has 4 weeks of prompts, and obviously you would choose things that were Lord of the Rings themed, whether it's, you know, the type of project, or you can do any type of craft. I mean, she's got some cooking prompts and things in there. I will let you go over and check those out at her group. Again, link will be below. But I decided that is what I'm going to do for a September personal project. So I went and did some stash diving while I was also tidying things up and getting my life together this past week. And I have decided I'm going to cast on for the Brago socks. And now, Brago is the name of the horse who Aragorn / Strider rides throughout the movie and in the books. He's a bay. The actor Viggo Mortensen, who played Aragorn in the movie, actually wound up purchasing this horse and keeping him and having him shipped to the United States to live on his ranch in Montana. Faithful companion. So anyway, I thought that these would be perfect, and they're a fairly straightforward, fairly simple sock pattern and would be a good stash buster. The pattern is by Virginia Sattler Reimer, I think is how she says her last name. I'll link it below. It's available on Ravelry. I have opted to drag out a very deep stash yarn. This one from Cherry Tree Hill in the colorway Java. It is her super sock, which is just basic merino, superwash merino. There's the label. And it is this gorgeous, like, it's a chocolate brown, but it's got a lot of undercolors to it. It's got like sort of a slate gray and some lighter chestnut and kind of a burgundy color. But anyway, I think that's going to be beautiful in this pattern. I just think it'll be a perfect match, and not too much color change going on, but enough that it'll give it a nice support to that basic texture. So that will be going on my needles on the 1st. Jennifer's not doing any works in progress allowed, so it has to be a new start, which is fine. But anyway, so I've got that all ready to go in my Briar Rose project bag that I made myself a while back. Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that. If you have any interest in doing that kind of a knit along, please feel free to pop over to Jen's group and take a look at the prompts and see if maybe there's some stuff there that sounds like it would be up your alley. I had a crazy wild hair that I was like, oh, there's this Fair Isle pattern that I would like to knit. But no, it's a sweater. I have found that I can only work on one garment at a time unless there's some work reason to do so. It's just, I have to have some balance to like the massive pieces. I think that's probably true in most crafting endeavors, but definitely true for me in knitting. Okay, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was just to put the bug in your ear about FiberShare. If you haven't heard about them, they are at FiberShare, FiberShare.org. Link it below. What this is it's a, I believe they're running it quarterly now, but it's basically a worldwide swap. You can choose your craft. It includes embroidery, knitting, spinning, weaving. I think there might be one more that they've added now. So you pick what you want the primary craft to be that you would trade for, and then you submit your questionnaire, which asks, you know, kind of basic stuff like, do you have any allergies? Are there colors you like, colors you don't like? that kind of thing, or other things that you're interested in. And then the fiber share folks pair you with somebody. You can also pick whether you want to do international or not international, or, you know, if you are in the UK and you just want to be in the like ship to someone else in the UK, you can do that. I've done this twice before, and it's actually a really great swap. I think that the sort of bottom line for it is 200 grams of fiber or yarn or fabric and floss kind of thing. So basically 2 skeins of yarn or a couple braids of fiber. So it's up to you then how much else you want to put in. You know, if you want to include some other goodies for your partner, you can do that. Stitch markers, needles, just something that maybe they're interested in terms of like a fandom, that kind of thing. So it's up to you what you send beyond that 200 grams of supplies. And I have found it was really nice because both of the folks that I was partnered with were also folks who were interested in shopping at small indie producers of some kind, either indie dyers or indie like natural wool type things. And the packages they put together were so great, and things that I would never have found on my own because, you know, folks who maybe didn't even have an Etsy store, let alone some other web presence. Yeah, it was just really fun. So if you are interested in that type of swap, again, I will link the information below. I think you have through the 1st of September to sign up, or August 31st through August 31st. So anyway, if you're interested in that, I have signed up for this final quarter one. Your match is totally random. I think the only thing that you can specify is if you've been in a fiber share swap before, you can ask not to be paired with the same person, just to kind of expand your horizons. But, you know, that's not even a mandatory thing. You can pick and choose as you wish. Okay, let us move on to, sorry, still looking at my timestamp, spinning. So I have a finished spin to share with you guys. This was on my wheel last time. This is, the original fiber was from 2F by Hand. It is a Blueface Leicester wool, 100% BFL wool. The colorway is Dirigible Plums. It was from their Harry Potter collection eons ago. They're not even dyeing fiber anymore. So I spun this up into a 2-ply, came out with 245 yards in the skein. So it's basically a DK weight, light DK headed to sport, but more gorgeous fall colors. This actually is pretty close to how it looks in real life. I love it. It's all of those like sugar maple reds and mahogany and some pecan or pecan, depending on which part of the country you're from. No specific plans for this, but I'm really happy with how it came out, and it'll go into the stash bin for now until I figure out what it wants to be when it grows up. So I have that. And then I thought I would try to finish out the month with a small spin. So I went stash diving again. Can you tell there's a theme of what I've done with my weekend here? This is a bag of quiviut down, which I got at the Soar Market the very last year that Interweave had the Soar Market up in Estes Park. No. Park City, Utah. It's 12 years old, I think. 11 years old. It's been a while. Anyway, so there's like 2 ounces of it. It's not very much. I don't even think it's 2 ounces. I think it's like 1.75. And it came as a bat, which I have split in half because I'm going to do a 2-ply, and I'm spinning it lace weight light fingering. A super, super, super soft fiber. So the quiviut is the musk ox, if you're not familiar with that. And this is the down. It's the insulative fibers that are up closest to their actual body that insulate them and keep them warm. kind of pricey stuff per ounce, which is why I have less than 2 ounces of it, because I did not want to take out a second mortgage. But I'm not sure why I haven't spun it, because I love this sort of taupey gray kind of color, and it's natural and it's so soft. I mean, it's amazing. Excuse me. I'm a little under the weather today, so I'm a little scattered and a little coughy and a little tea, too much tea on board. Anyway, loving this spin. The first half is already on my wheel. This is the second half. I'm going to try to get this spun up before the end of the month. I'd like to try to, you know, kind of have that off the wheel, because one of the other things that it's kind of hair everywhere. One of the other projects that I was thinking of doing for the Tolkien along is a set of Rolags that are in a Tolkien themed colorway. The Road Goes Ever On is the colorway name. So if I get that finished, then I can, maybe that'll be my September project, and I'll have 2 Tolkien themed projects for the month. We'll see how that goes. I have a crazy busy couple of weeks coming up, so we'll see. That's all you can do, right? Okay, let's move on, and we will talk about books. So I have several books that I've read this past couple of weeks. The first book I had started last time we talked. It's called Tracks, Tracks, by Robin Davidson. So this is a memoir about her taking a trip across sort of the Western Australian desert, for lack of a better word, in the outback. She has 3 camels and her dog that go with her. She was kind of, the book implies at the very beginning that she was a sort of a free spirit, but I think one who was completely adrift. Like, she had no goal or purpose particularly in her life, and deciding to go and learn how to be a camel driver and do this epic journey was kind of, I think, her way of having a purpose in her life. She winds up getting National Geographic support and funding for the trip, but it is not in any way, shape, or form like a luxury trip. I mean, everything that she takes, she packs on the camels. She really lucks out because she winds up being befriended by one of the elders of a local Aboriginal tribe. And he winds up being her guide for part of this, which in a weird way she kind of plays down, but I think this guy was really pivotal in making this, like, teaching her enough about surviving in the extreme conditions that then she didn't die at the end when she did not have him accompanying her for the last, I don't know what it was, 170 miles or something. I believe the entire trek was 1,300? I think 1,300 miles. I think that's right. Anyway, I enjoyed this book. It was definitely an interesting, like, epic coming to terms with who you are, figuring out things, the amount of stuff that she learns over the course of her travels and learning to deal with the camels was an amazing feat. I mean, she's obviously a very strong person. I could have done, and I know this was a different time and it was certainly a different place, but I had some issues with the treatment of the camels with the guy she was training with at the beginning of the book, maybe the first third. It's obvious by the end of the book how much she's come to love and respect these creatures and to rely on them. They really become her family. But just if you think you're going to pick this book up and you have any issues with cruelty to animals, it's probably not going to be a good book for you, because there's some passages in it that are, I mean, they're not horrifically graphic, but you definitely get the picture that these animals were not being treated super well. Just saying. But yeah, so kind of an interesting book, and if you go online and look her up like I did. There's lots of photographs of her during this time period that were taken by the National Geographic photographer, who would like fly in for 2 or 3 days and then shoot photos of wherever she was, usually at like a small town or one of the sort of sections that had a big ranch on it. She would stop and get fresh water and take a shower every so often. So interesting book. If you think you are interested in that kind of memoirs about strong women, it's probably something you would enjoy reading. The next book I read is called Death Spins the Wheel, and didn't really know anything about this book. One of the ways that I get books, other than I do try to borrow from the library if I can, but I also have a list that comes to me every day from an online website called bookbub.com. BOOKBUB, all one word, .com. And you can go on there and sign up, tell the computer what genres you're interested in, and it will kick you out a list of books every morning that are usually less than $2, like they're on sale for some reason. And so a lot of times for this year-long challenge, if I'm looking for something that fits one of the specific topics, and it's maybe not one that I think, oh, I want that in my permanent library forever, that I want to spend $11 on, I will pick something off of that list. So I kind of skim through it each morning and I see if there's some stuff that might fit the bill. And if there is, I'll pick it up and kind of store it until I'm ready to read it. So that's what this one was, Death Spins the Wheel. It is a very traditional Agatha Christie type mystery. Very British, very red herring-y kind of thing. This woman has come to the Isle of Man to basically just play the roulette wheel in a new casino that's been built on the island. And she's found murdered on the beach. And I think that this book, I don't know how many others in the series are before it, but it is part of a series where these are recurring characters, which is fine. You don't really need to know any of the previous backstories of these characters to fully jump into it, because it's very, it is so very Agatha Christie that the characters, you feel like you kind of already know them. It wasn't a great book. It wasn't a bad book. It was an okay book. I enjoyed it. It was a quick read. I mean, if you're somebody who absolutely adores British mysteries, you'll probably love it. Otherwise, you know, it's the kind of thing you would pick up for 99 cents off of a listserv and be like, yeah, okay, I'll read that. So it's not like a huge recommendation or anything, you know, going to town on that one, but I have read it. I have shared my thoughts with you. Moving on. So the book that I'm currently reading is called Fool's Assassin, and it is by the author Robin Hobb. As always, I will link the Goodreads pages down below to everything I've read, so you can find them if you want. I have read one other book by Robin Hobb, and it was kind of the beginning of the set of books that contain these same characters. This particular one is, so the first set that she wrote were about this young boy growing into a man who is being trained as he's one of the ruling family's bastard children. So he does not have any real status at court, but he's brought up as kind of the ugly stepchild, if you will, and he's trained to become an assassin and a protector of the royal lineage. So the first 3 books in this particular series deal with him becoming a boy and being a boy and becoming a teenager and being trained and becoming a man. This is a book that is the first in another set featuring the same characters, but now the boy is middle-aged. He is married. Has his own holding. Withy Woods is where it is. His wife gets pregnant with, and they're 50. His wife gets pregnant everybody thinks she's lost her mind because the pregnancy goes on for 2 years, but she does eventually have a child. And this child is very different. She is tiny. She's very pale. She doesn't grow in the same way other children do. They kind of can't figure out what to do with her. They don't know if she's simple. They don't know if she's like a changeling. It's not clear. Anyway, I am 2/3 of the way through the book. Really well written. If you like Game of Thrones kinds of books, you will probably like the books by Robin Hobb. This one, there is a backstory to it, because there's references to the Fool, as in Fool's assassin. There's references to this other character who, at 2/3 of the way through this book that I'm reading now, has not shown back up, but he is an integral part of the story. He was an integral part of the first 3 books in this selection of characters. It's sort of, vaguely medievally set, sort of like Game of Thrones. There's a lot of politics, but not confusing. Like, you don't need to have the character list next to you in order to read this and understand what's going on. Really great world building. The characters are strong. The characters are interesting. There's some magic in it, but it's not the focus of the book. Like, there are magical things, but not everyone can access them. So the regular people, if you will, magic does not really play a part in their life. It's not everywhere in the kingdom, but there are certain people who have certain skills. So I fully expect that I will continue to love this book as I'm reading it, but I will report back in on that as like a finished thing when I actually finish it, which probably will be next time we talk. Okay, so that's it for books right now. Let's talk about cross stitch. I've still been working on Arbitrary August, and once I'm done blithering here with you, I will stack in all of the vlog posts, vlog videos that I've been taking over the last 2 weeks, I guess it's been since I talked to you guys last. That'll show you my clips of what I've worked on each day and kind of walk you through what projects have come up and or have not come up. I'm kind of surprised at how much I've been enjoying switching to a different project every day. Because I normally like to see a decent amount of progress, and you don't really see that much progress when you only work on something for a day, but it has been really great. I think Jessie Marie commented on this about how it's basically a whip parade. You're pulling out a whole bunch of things that you haven't worked on in a while. So it's been fun to share those, but it's also been fun to work on them because some of them haven't seen the light of day since like last May when I started them, May 2017 when I started them for Mania. So that's been really great. And I think I mentioned in my last video, nope, I mentioned this in a clip. Sorry, I get confused. And I still have down in my nose from that spinning project. I looked ahead and I went to my Tiny Decisions app, which, oh my gosh, that is the most fun thing ever. I have not used it to pull random projects for this Arbitrary August stitch along, but I am going to use it going forward to pick projects. Anyway, I looked at like how many days I had left, and there were 2 projects that I hadn't touched yet this year. And so rather than pick a randomly generated project, I just slotted those in for 2 days. One was Prairie Schoolers, one Witches Go Riding, which I worked on yesterday, so you guys will see that in an upcoming clip. And the other one is The 12 Days of Christmas by Jim Shore, and that is what I'm going to work on the 31st. I just put it in because it hadn't been touched this year. I've had some double dips, and I think there's 2 pieces that will be coming out more than twice. One of which is Mirabilia's The Stargazer, and the other of which is my Witch Way piece. I know those are both slated for at least a couple days this week, which you'll see with my vlog clips next time you and I talk. So anyway, really been enjoying that. Again, a big thank you to Sarah at Stitch and Mommy for coordinating it and figuring it out and getting it out there in public so that we all could participate and have a good time doing that. So I wanted to talk about my September plans and kind of through the end of the year-ish plans. So one of the things I did, I went through and I put all of my active whips into the Tiny Decisions app. And I know that several folks have talked about this. Jessie Marie has mentioned it. Michelle Bendy Stitchy has mentioned it. There's an app for non-Apple devices that is called, I think, Roulette Wheel. I think that's what Jessie Marie said. You can reference her most recent video. She talks about it there. But for Apple users, it looks like this. So this is all of my current active whips, which doesn't look too bad. So what I've decided that I'm going to do, I have 2 projects that I want to try to get finished up this year, because one of my goals for next year, and I've mentioned this before too, is to get down to 12 active whips. And I'm pretty sure I can do that. I have 14 right now, and I have 2 things at least that I should be able to, if I just put like a week in on them, I should be able to finish them and get those done. One of those is my Best Friend Santa. That's the little Mill Hill kit that I just started. And the other is the Welcome Autumn project from the Drawn Thread. So knowing that I could get those done and knowing that I have September, October, November, December, I have 4 months to finish those up. What I thought I would do is let the Tiny Decision Maker pick me a project for September that I'm going to work on fairly monogamously. I have a week that I'm going on vacation and I want to take something small. So unless the random Tiny Decisions picks that particular project before then, I'm going to take the Mill Hill Best Friend Santa with me to work on, because that's just like one little bag and I don't need a frame and I don't need a magnifier and I can just work on it. It doesn't have a ton of supplies related to it. So I thought it would be fun. I'd go ahead and pick a project so you guys can see what I'm going to be working on in September. So that'll be my mostly monogamous project for the month, and I'm going to see how far I get on it. And I think that's going to be what I do going forward, at least until I get burned out on something. You guys know what that's like. The other thing that I've done is I put all of the projects that it's not all of my stash patterns, because there's a few stash patterns that I have that I'm like, I got it thinking I was going to use it for something specific and then changed my mind. And I'm not in love with the pattern anymore. So I put the things, I created another Tiny Decisions version that has, I think, 85 choices in it. 85? It's a lot. Something like that number. That I would potentially want to start once I finish one of my other projects, one of these current active ones, after I'm down to the magic 12 number. So it will be the thing that will pick what I work on next. If that makes any sense at all. Not sure today how I'm doing with that. Anyway, so let's hit the button and we will see what comes up for September. Best Friend Santa, which oddly enough is the small project that I was going to take anyway. Okay, that's going to be what I work on till it's finished. And then once it's done, I will decide on what my next project is going to be, like for going forward into September. Sometimes the cosmos knows what it is that you really feel like you should be working on. So we're going to just let the cosmos make some decisions for me. This is a lot easier than me thinking, what should I work on next? And going through everything and changing my mind 67 different times. So this is it. If I wind up finishing this before we go away on vacation, I will take my other small piece, which I can also do pretty easily. It doesn't have, it's, 5 or 6 colors can go with me. And that would be the Welcome Autumn one. Yeah, All right, so you guys have all of the news, all of the information in real time, semi-real time, because you'll be watching this as an upload as opposed to live video after I'm done. So stay tuned for the vlog clips after this that will show you what I've been working on for the last 2 weeks. Some things I made some really good progress on, even though I only had a day to work on them. So that's exciting. That jazzed me quite a bit. And I will, like I said, finish out the month with the rest of the vlog information from today, which is the 26th through the 31st. So almost a week, but not quite. And then that'll get tagged on to the end of my next video that I do when it will be September already, which I cannot believe. This is mind-blowing to me. So anyway, that is all from me in this portion of it. Stay tuned for the vlog clips next. I will talk to you guys in a couple of weeks. Until then, I hope you are having a great either start to your spring or fall, depending on which hemisphere you're in, and that you're getting lots of time for crafting and other fun things. So take care, guys. I will talk to you later. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Anne. So I'm just popping in real quick to remind you guys that for August the 10th, this is my starting point on the Arbitrary August stitch along with the project Autumn Leaves from the Prairie Schooler. And I will be back later to show you my progress on this and start another week of vlogging for the stitch along. Talk to you then. Hey guys, it's Anne. Today is Saturday. Hang on, it's August 11th. So 11th day of Arbitrary August, and today's project was a stitching shelf, and I put in this 100 square block right here. That's all I'm gonna get to today, but hey, you know, 200 more stitches into a stitching shelf is 200 less than the however many there are in there, like 790,000 or something like that. So progress, small, but that's what I had time for today. Tomorrow's project is going to be Best Friend Santa. This one's coming back out for a day. And here is my current progress on it. Gonna try to finish working on the red that runs down here, and then I'm gonna start working up kind of into where his face is and the dog, I think. So we're gonna work on cross stitching tomorrow in the hopes that I'll be getting this close enough to maybe have 1 or 2 more stitching sessions for the cross stitches, and then I'll be able to add beads. So that's for tomorrow. I'll be back to check in then, and hope you guys are having a great weekend. Bye for now. Hi guys, this is Anne, and today is Tuesday the 14th. I did not do a vlog edition yesterday because I actually wound up with this same project 2 days in a row for Monday or Sunday and Monday, so the 12th and 13th. And that is this Mill Hill kit called Best Friend Santa, artwork by Jim Shore, and that's what it's going to look like when it's done. So I actually had 2 days worth of time in on it, and here is where I am so far. I am just about done the actual cross stitching. I just have a couple like ninja stitches. There's a couple colors where there's just 1 stitch or 2 kind of hidden in there. So I have that to do and a little bit left in the coat and the cuffs. But that's about it. Otherwise, it's in pretty good shape. Let's see. Now that I'm looking at this through the screen, I need to go back and double check the face because he looks really bright compared to the photo. But anyway, I will go back and do that and just make sure I've done that right. Otherwise, I will fix it before I move on. But let's talk about what's on the docket for today. And that is going to be my Which Way piece. So this is artwork by Molly Harrison, and it is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm working up in that top corner, top left corner by the end of her hat. I am still working on page 1, but that is where I am. I'm gonna get some stitches put into that today, and then I will come back and show you that and tell you what I'm gonna be working on for Wednesday the 15th. Talk to you guys later. Hi everyone, it's Anne again, and today is Wednesday, the 15th of August, and I'm here with another little vlog caption to show you what I've been working on. This is Village of Hawk Run Hollow. I am working it on a 22 count hardanger, hand dyed by Picture This Plus in the Legacy colorway. I am stitching it 1/1, and this is where I am after today's stitching session. I already had blocks 1 through 3 done. And I've been working on block number 4, which is the boarding house, and I worked on this signage. I had a little bit of it done, but I finished almost all of it. There's one little piece that comes down here. So I will finish that next time this comes out, whenever that is. This was one that I don't think I'd worked on yet this year, so it was nice to be able to put some stitches in it and actually work towards my goal of stitching on every piece. So a little bit more to do on this. Again, the sign and some dogs at the fence line and some back stitching and one bird that lives up here, but a little bit of progress. So let me show you what I am working on now for tomorrow. And that is this design called Key to My Heart by Tempting Tangles. It is a Quaker heart, Quaker Valentine kind of look to it. And I am stitching this on hand-dyed fabrics by Stephanie, a 32 count linen in the colorway Briar Rose. And I've gotten basically the first page and into the second done. The first page ends here and here. So this quadrant right here is completely done, and then I've started working down a little bit, and I started working the mirror image over here. So I'm about there in the design. So not sure which direction I'm gonna work in. Kind of have a few different options about which way to go, but this will be what I work on tomorrow, which is Thursday the 16th. So we'll just see what suits my fancy when I get there. I should add that the thread is a hand-dyed cotton from Color and Cotton in the black currant colorway, one of my favorites, which sadly is now discontinued, but I have hoarded enough skeins to finish this project with it, and just absolutely love how it's coming out on this fabric. So I will be back tomorrow with an update. Talk to you guys then. Bye. Hello everybody, it's Anne. Today is Thursday, the 16th of August, and this is my vlog for today. I have been working on the Tempting Tangles pattern Key to My Heart, and this is where I have stopped for today. I finished up this whole section right here and this floral motif right here, added this, and got to this center point. So really happy with today's progress. I would say I'm probably about halfway done. The corners down here, even though they're technically the same, sorry about that, they're the same depth from center to bottom as they are here. There's a lot less stitching here because the heart comes down to a point. So that's where we are right now on this one. Let me show you what I will be working on for tomorrow, which is Friday. Really happy to note that the Drawn Threads Welcome Autumn is back out for another day. I have already worked on this once in the Arbitrary August rotation, but this is what the random number generator said I should work on tomorrow. Here is my starting point for this current iteration. I think I may try to extend the W over, and so get that done and stitch the leaves and the acorns that are in there. And then if I have time, maybe start working this way. Obviously I won't get that all done in one day, but that is where I will be sitting and stitching tomorrow. So really looking forward to that. I will be back with an update, and then we'll talk about weekend plans. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi everyone, it's Anne, and today is Friday. I think it's the 16th. It's the consecutive day after Thursday, but I am not so good with remembering what day of the month it is. Anywho, here is my progress on the Drawn Threads Welcome Autumn. You can see that I focused on this W. I got this leg of it done and added a bunch of leaves and started the back stitching. That letter is almost complete. I have the acorns, there's the specialty stitches that make the acorn bodies to do, and then there's one other leaf down here, and then that letter is completely done. And I can move on to other things next time I get it out to work on it. I was looking ahead and trying to sort of plot out, you know, when I needed to get stuff on and off frames or if I needed to free up Q snaps. So I went ahead and actually pulled all of the randomly drawn projects for the rest of the month. And I know that this piece will not come out again, which is fine, but I am gonna plan to work on it in September and see if I can't get that little piece done in time for fall. That would be really perfect timing. So we'll see. Really enjoying working with all of the hand-dyed silks. I think they're gorgeous. I love how this is coming out. I'm substituting Redfish Dye Works and an odd NPI silk, just whatever I had in my stash. And so that's what it's looking like now. Give you guys a little close-up of those leaves. I did get this top leaf backstitched, which you can barely see, it's pretty subtle. And I still need to backstitch this oak leaf. So that's where that piece is. Okay, so tomorrow I am back at work on Which Way. And I'm really pleased this has come up on Saturday, because that means I'll have a little bit extra time to spend on it. I don't think I'll get all 1,500 stitches, which is what I have left to complete the page. I don't think I'll get all 1,500 of those done tomorrow, but I do know this comes out, I think at least once and maybe twice now the rest of the month. But again, this will be something that I focus on in September to try to get that page finished up if that doesn't happen during August. So that's where I am today on Friday. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow once I've put stitches in on this project. Have a good one. Bye. Hey guys, today is Saturday the 19th of August, and I am here with my update progress report for today in Arbitrary August. Which Way is what I have been working on today, and I got 300 stitches put in, which I am very happy about. And I'm loving seeing the moon start to come in here. This is such a fun piece. I have really enjoyed working on this, so excited that it came out again, and I believe I have one other day that it's going to be on the docket for August, so I will definitely get it finished up, get this page finished up in September. That will be a goal that I think will be more than achievable. So yeah, just really happy with what I got done today. So that is what I have been working on today. Tomorrow, let me move that out of the way. The Stargazer is back again. I'm sure you all know this one from Mirabilia, but there is what she will look like when she's finished. And not sure what I'm going to tackle next. I've been going back and forth about whether I should put some more of the lighter color in or whether I should work up her bodice, add some of the darker colors that are right here, and you know, possibly work up towards her face. I certainly won't get that done tomorrow, but I do know that this one comes out at least once, and I think twice actually, in the random draws that I have set up through the end of the month. So if that's the case, I could actually get a fair amount done, you know, working up this way on her. So we'll see. We'll see what sounds good tomorrow when I get going on her. One thing I did just for myself, because my goal for this year was to touch all of the pieces that are current whips. And my thought was that randomly those selections would come up over the course of the month, but when I ran the random number generator out for the next, whatever it is, 10, 12, 13 days left in the month, there actually were a couple that didn't get drawn. And so what I did is I took out some of the repeats in that last week of August, and I slotted in, I think there were 2 projects that had not gotten pulled up on the random number generator, one of which was my 12 Days of Christmas, and the other of which was When Witches Go Riding. So those 2 would not have gotten any love at all this year, I don't think. At least I had no plans to, if they weren't going to come out for this August randomness. So I just went ahead and slotted those in on 2 days that were repeats for projects that I've already worked on. So that way I know for sure that this month I will wind up being able to put stitches in on all of my whips, which is a great, great feeling. So huge thank you to Sarah at Stitchin' Mommy for suggesting that we do this. And well, it's been a little outside my comfort zone. I am really glad that I've gone ahead and done it, because it's been great to be able to sort of remember how much I like all of my projects and that I need to get back to them. So anyway, that is it for me for this Saturday. I will be back tomorrow to show you my progress on Stargazer and then what I'll be working on for Monday. Talk to you guys later. Bye. Hi everybody. It is Tuesday the 21st, and this is the next installment for my Arbitrary August projects. So here is what I worked on this evening. It's gonna look like I didn't do much. However, let's talk about what I did in terms of backing up. When I came in to do the blue that's on the inside of this, I realized that the black frame was off by 1 stitch. So I unpicked that because I had a hanging thread, and then I restitched that. And because I had stitched this 1/1 motif of Coco Pelli based on where the black frame was, that was also off. So I wound up having to rip this entire motif, but I did get it restitched in the right place. That's all 1/1. I added the blue on the inside. That's one of the Gloriana silks, super pretty, Mediterranean. Colors are a little weird right now because it's late. And then I started this braided border, whatever it is, down this side. And then I worked a little bit on this border up here, because I think I'm finally at the point now that I can do the darning mending bit right here. I think I've got enough threads around it. The design ends here, so I'll have to take the threads that I'm darning with way out here, kind of off camera, you know, to the selvage or where it's the edge of the fabric. But the other things I can attach to the back of the fabric now that I've got the cross stitch in place, and it'll give it something to anchor to. It'll give those darning threads a place to live. So this piece comes out again Friday of this week. So I'm not going to do the darning. I'm not going to do the darning then. I just know that it's better to work on a new technique and something I really need to concentrate on 100%, not after a long day at work. So I'm going to try to get that darning done this weekend when I just have the brain power to do it, and then we'll see how that looks. But for what I'm going to work on Friday, it'll be this border coming across. So this is where this piece is right now. Kind of give you the full shot of it. And so what I'm going to be working on for Wednesday is Key to My Heart. This has come back up in the random number generator, and so this has been out once already in August. I got quite a bit done in this section right here. So I think this time what I'm gonna do is come up here and try to get the top border worked over to the corner, and maybe start down. We'll see how much time I have today. But that's tonight's project or tomorrow night's project, and I will be back to give you an update when that's done, and I will talk to you guys then. Have a great day. Bye. Hey everyone, it's Anne. Tonight is Wednesday the 22nd, and this is today's vlog update for Arbitrary August. I did not have a ton of stitching time tonight. Things just got away from me today. However, I did get this section right here stitched in. So I just have this little curve to do, and I will be there at that edge of that side. So that is all I'm gonna get done tonight. I did not bother to bring the desert mandala to record progress on that, because you guys saw that yesterday, the clip you just saw. So I'll just update you tomorrow with that progress. So with that, I am done here for tonight. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Hope you're having a great week. Bye. Hi everyone, today is Friday, August 24th, 2018, and I am here with an update for Arbitrary August. This is what I've worked on today, Mirabilia's The Stargazer. I decided I would go ahead and get the upper part of her sleeve done. So this right here matches that. It's the dark curve at the upper part of the arm's eye of her dress. So that is what I worked on today. Didn't get a ton done, but progress is progress, so I'm taking it. Looking ahead, this does have one more day in August that it's slated to come out, so we'll see if I can maybe finish filling in the kind of the biceps part of her sleeve. But that is where she is. I have loved working on her, so much fun. I kind of don't think of myself as a Mirabilia kind of person, which is weird because I love all the historic garments and big poofy skirts and the sort of romantic feel of this, but this one definitely pushed all the right buttons for whatever reason. So you'll see this again once more this month, but tomorrow I'm going to be working on the Prairie Schoolers When Witches Go Riding, and I'm doing that larger piece. So you can see up at the top, I have gotten progress on this cat border. So we'll see what I decide to tackle. I think I may be in the mood tomorrow to try to work on some of the letters, and I could start that right here underneath the border, and maybe start bringing the border down, you know, on either side there. Fabric is a hand-dyed linen, hand-dyed by me, and I am going to be using silk threads that I hand-dyed as well. So there's a little close-up of the cat, and yeah, we'll just see how far I get. I may start to fill in the other cat that's here, or maybe work on the jack-o'-lantern and then jump down and do some of the letters. We'll see what I have time for tomorrow. But I will be back to do an update once I do get some time in on this. So I will talk to you guys then. Bye. Hi everyone, it's Anne. Today is Saturday, the 25th of August, 2018, and here is today's vlog update for Arbitrary August. I have been working on the Prairie Schooler. I am working on that part of the pattern right there, the slightly larger one. And today I got finished this upper border, and I just had this cat done and the rectangle up top. So I finished the jack-o'-lantern and the other cat and extended the borders down all in black. So yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. I'm not looking forward necessarily to working the background. It's pretty boring, but it's okay. All of the sort of counting stuff is done, so if I need a mindless project, that would definitely qualify for it. So that's where I am on today's tomorrow I am moving back to Winter's Encounter. You can see that I've brought the, it's got about 600 stitches here in this next page. So just gonna work on this next diagonal and see how far I get on that one. Probably more boring white and gray, but gotta be done because it's a necessary part of the whole picture. So that'll be up on my to-do list for tomorrow, and I will check back with you guys then. I think this will close out my vlog updates for this section, because I am going to try to get a podcast recorded, so this will be combined in with the end of it, and then I'll finish up sort of our last week. It's not quite a full week, but close, with a separate vlog once we get there. Okay, so that's it. I'm kind of rambly today, a little under the weather, but that's where I stand, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.